And I'm going to mute her. Okay. All right. So I'm so happy that y'all are here tonight. And we are I can't tell you how excited the leaders of this group are to be doing this. We all kind of got this little like, oh, that's our pictures on the picture when we originally, posted our, hey, welcome to the next level of leadership. So we're really excited to have you. Let me mute that person. Over the next 7 weeks, we've got a lot of amazing content to share with you. I'm not sure how many of you have had a chance to do the first lesson. And if you haven't, that's totally okay. It's only been available for 48 hours or so, maybe a little bit more. But before we get started, I just wanted to introduce myself. And I will tell you that I am an ummer, okay? I a lot. And so I usually have everything written out. So if you see me looking down, it's so I don't act like an idiot while I'm presenting to you guys. But I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Tracy Adams, and I'm the founder of Daily Dose of Tracy, as well as the Daily Dose of Fuel. And my mission, I'm going to mute some people. Hang on. Hi, Brian. Welcome. It's my mission to inspire others to fuel their bodies and fuel their souls and fuel their futures. And so that's kind of how I came up with it started with Daily Dose of Delaney because my daughter would give me all kinds of good material. And then it evolved to Daily Dose of Tracy. And then we went with Fuel because Daily Dose of Dense Nutrition. But I've been a coach for a little over 2 years now, and I'm a diamond coach. And I am loving what I do. I live in Winter Garden, Florida, with my husband and my 2 children, Brooks, who's 12, and Delaney, who's 10. And can y'all hear me okay? Okay. I'm 43 years old. I worked previously in the medical field. I was a speech language pathologist on a brain injury unit for a little over 5 years. And then I was an executive pharmaceutical sales rep for a little over 16 years. But now I'm a stay-at-home mom and a #mom boss. And I have the freedom to work my business around my family's schedule. I'm not going to lie. It is really hard. I still work really hard. I've been getting up at 6 a.m. or 5:30 to try and get everything in during the day. And I have to stay super disciplined, but I've truly never been happier. So I'm really excited to be here with y'all tonight. All right. So I have the privilege of kicking us off. And like I said before, we've only had the group going for 2 to 3 days. And like I said, I don't know that everybody's really had the opportunity to get through the first assignment. But I think we've all had an opportunity to introduce ourselves. And so in the introductions, we asked you to share a couple things. Tell us what workout you're doing, what personal development you're working on, as well as how many invites a day you are doing. So why do you suppose those specific things were asked? And this is where y'all raise your hand and answer. I'll take you off mute. I'm going to pick on Brian because he had the guts to Vox me the other day.
I did, yeah. And that was good information you gave me too. Let's see.
Okay, so we asked those 3 things, and why do you think we did?
I think you said the program, the invites, and what was the third one, Tracy?
How many invites? Invites, personal development, and what program?
Oh, okay. I can tell you why you asked it. It's because those are the vital behaviors.
That's right. Yes, that's 3 out of
being a product of the product. Invite. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a 4th one now.
Recognition.
What was it? Yeah, what was it?
Recognition. So
recognition. Yeah.
And you can't really talk about that in an intro. So, so those are 3 out of the 4 vital behaviors.
Right.
Great job, Brian. You get a star.
Thank you.
I'm gonna mute you though. So the reason why we did that is because I'm here to tell you, no matter how many amazing, inspiring, informative videos you watch, it will mean nothing if you don't do those 3 things for your business, as well as the 4th, but that wasn't in there. So I have a treat for you tonight, and I'm going to weave some of those vital behaviors into what I have to share. Believe it or not, I am not going to talk about the stuff that Tanya, Lori, and David talked to you about, because that would kind of be redundant. I'm going to sprinkle some of that in here and there, but tonight I'm going to go over a few things with you that I hope will inspire you and excite you just a little bit more than what you already are feeling. So, are y'all ready? Okay, I see smiles. Yay! Okay, so how many here have listened to Jim Rohn? There's quite a few hands. So he's amazing, right? I love him. He speaks right to my heart. So I'm going to share with you today, and if you haven't listened to him, pull him up on YouTube sometime. He's really easy to listen to. He'll keep your attention. Mary, I'm going to mute you. Hi, welcome to the call. And Kelly. Okay, sorry. Shay's right. It's like whack-a-mole. So I'm going to share with you his 10 rules for success and how we can apply those to our businesses. So the first one, his first rule for success is let's do it. Okay. That's let's do it, not just do it. And it's let's do it because nobody says something like, I'm going to go conquer the world, right? They say, we're going to conquer the world, right? So it's never, I'm going to do something. It's, we're going to do it. And why is it? Why is that the case? Because there's power in numbers, all right? And the way that I was able to apply that to what we do here, I'm muting somebody, is at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to make this business happen for you. Nobody else is going to do the work. Nobody else is going to make you sit down and send out invites and connect with people and create those relationships. But success partners make all the difference in the world. I had one a couple months into the business, and it was life-changing for me, and I don't think I would be here today if I didn't have one. So I'm going to just share a couple tips on maybe how some of you could find success partners, because I really think there's a lot of value in having somebody that you work well with that's going to help push you forward and sometimes find that confidence that you need maybe to start your own team page or run your own challenge groups or run a free group. And not everybody needs that. I've got my coach, Cindy, she's on the call. She felt like her market needed stuff on eating healthy on a budget. And so she ran a free group. It was amazing. I learned so much from it. But there's a lot of value in having a success partner. So if you're new to the business, relatively new, right? And it's not going to be like grade school where you pass a note to somebody with a check yes or no. And I would say that a lot of success partnerships happen more organically. And so I would just suggest, cultivating some relationships, whether it's, in this group, friend the people that are in this group and start interacting with them. If you're on Voxer, and if you're not, you need to look it up and get with the times because it's amazing. But start Voxering back and forth with some of the coaches that are in here to pass ideas off with. That's going to give you a really good idea as to whether you connect with someone. I spent a whole weekend at Shay's with Robin, and it wasn't until after when we started Voxing so much that I was like, oh my gosh, we're like sisters from another mother. So you can really find great people to work with when you just spend time talking to them. And then, perhaps a success partnership would happen organically. You can find people in the refinery, and then there's also other Beachbody coach groups that you can join that would be other ways of meeting with people. I know one of my other coaches, Marianne, she went to a live event. They have them on Super Saturday. I'm like, they have them on Saturday, Super Saturday. And she met another coach that lives right in the town that she's from. And they've started chatting back and forth. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I think Marianne might have a success partner. So, let's do it. Power in numbers. The way I would apply that here is find a success partner, but don't ever forget that you are the only one that's going to make this business grow. And then I will caution you, don't get on Voxer and start sharing your life story and complaining about your children and how you can't get them on a schedule or how tired you are, you don't have any time. Like, you can chit chat a little bit, but stay with the business, because if there's anything I've heard people talk about in this group, that it's, I don't know how I'm going to get all of this done. So be mindful of your time. All right. So that was number one. They're not all this long, I promise. The second one, and this is one of my favorites, is seek adventure. Okay. So do you want to live a timid life? Define timid, right? So timid actually means showing a lack of courage or confidence. So let's look at this from another angle. Life is risky, okay? The moment you took your first breath, you were in trouble, okay? That was a risk. There are no guarantees. Look at marriage. It's not rainbows and butterflies. It's wonderful and it's amazing, but you got to work for it, right? Or look at having kids. For you parents out there, think about, when you found out you were expecting, all the risks, all of the worries. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's funny because I remember when I was a kid, people would talk about, 10 fingers, 10 toes. Are you kidding me? Like, do they have all their chromosomes? Whatever. I mean, life comes with risk. And that's my whole point. So you have, and then like a less serious example would be like the last time you scheduled a vacation. If you've ever gone on a cruise that wasn't, with Beachbody, and when you get to the end of it, they want to sell you trip insurance. And they say, for this much money, if something happens, then you can cancel your trip and we'll give you all your money back. Why do they do that? Because life happens. So this is when, you have to decide. You have to decide if you're going to live with courage and confidence and do what you're passionate about, or are you going to go through the motions in life and be a bench warmer? Because either way, it's risky. You can be a bench warmer and end up with cancer. Sorry, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but it's true. So I could easily apply this little lesson to one of our vital behaviors. And if any of y'all are zoning out, now would be a good time to pay attention. So can anyone guess which vital behavior I'm talking about when I'm talking about not being timid? Which one? I'm sorry. Stephanie, I can tell you're talking. I'm going to unmute you.
Inviting.
Yes! Inviting. That's right. Okay, so raise your hand if you were comfortable inviting from the moment you became a coach. All right, good. I don't see a single hand in the audience. That means that I should go buy a lottery ticket because I got 100 on that one. All right, so I'm going to assume that since this group is in the next level of leadership, we have all experienced a little bit of success. Okay, so I need a volunteer, someone that I can take off mute. Who's yelling? Come on. All right, Stephanie. Okay, so who's the last person that you invited that bought a challenge pack? What's their name?
Colleen Clace.
Okay, Colleen Clace. So what could have been the worst thing that could have happened when you invited her?
Never talk to me again, defriend. I don't see her in person. She's an old family friend, so I guess she could have told my parents I'm annoying or something like that, but yeah.
But you're somebody that volunteered on a call right away. Do you really care if she tells your parents that you were annoying her? No, I don't think so.
I'm not worried about that.
And really, at the end of the day, if someone's going to unfriend you over something like that, then they're probably not somebody that you want to work with, right?
Right.
All right. So now tell me how awesome it was when you had that conversation with her and she bought.
It's very cool. I mean, I used to be focused on the selling portion earlier last year when I first got involved. And so I was so focused on that. But then when she started talking about how it's helping her eat better and her stress levels down, and it's it's an awesome feeling to know I'm actually helping somebody and see that it's changing their life and see their smile on her face and how excited she was. And she definitely was going through a lot of depression and feeling very down on herself. She has a very hard job, and it was something that she was very excited about investing back in herself, and I could feel myself get excited with her. And that's what I've been trying to cling to, is just feeling that excitement with them and knowing that she's seeing like a light at the end of the tunnel is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, so that is such an amazing feeling, that feeling of being able to help somebody and knowing that you extending your hand to help someone actually reach somebody. And that is seeking adventure in this business. That's living with courage and confidence and paying something that's so amazing, paying it forward. So there are also so many other things that you could apply this to, and I hope you will. But I'm going to leave Seek Adventure with this quote from Jim Rohn, because I couldn't resist. I just think it's so clever. He says, "I'll tell you about life. You're not going to get out alive. But get it?" I just think that's so cute. So don't ask for security, but seek out the adventures. Okay, so number 3, and then they get faster, I promise. I know I said that already. So work on yourself. And of course, this ties into our vital behavior, personal development. Jim Rohn always says, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you'll earn a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you'll earn a fortune. And here's the thing. In this business, that does not mean read a bunch of personal development books and not do your inviting, which I know so many people struggle with, or not share your amazing. I know that every single person on this call has an amazing story to tell. And so we can't just be here to be collectors of information. Instead, work on yourself to make yourself more valuable to your market, through your personal development, and you will grow your business. What does your target market want? I can't answer that question for you, because your market is going to be totally different, not mine. Whoa, what was that? Hang on. I like the side effects, or the sound effects. That's one of the beauties of this business is the side effects. Are y'all laughing at me? Rob is that we're all so unique. And so every single one of us on this call, our story and how we talk to people and how we share things is going to connect with different people. So I could never tell you what your target market was looking for, but I can tell you this. If you continue to work on your storytelling, your communication, your ability to connect with others, how comfortable you are talking with people face to face, how passionate you are about sharing Shakeology face to face, that's something I'm working on personally. Because I am passionate about it, but I get really shy in person. I know that's probably hard to believe, but it's true. But if you do all these things, your business will grow. It will grow. But again, don't forget that in order to work on these things, you have to be willing to fail forward. And if you don't do it, you're never going to get it. And so this was something that before I decided I was going to kind of thread Jim Rohn's top 10, success tips, I had written this down. And I just want to address that in this group, we are working on ourselves. I'm watching all the videos and I'm loving them. I mean, I can't wait to rewrite what the F my goals are. But please heed this advice. Don't get behind. Don't not move on to the next lesson because you're frozen or you're stuck on the last one. Watch, learn, and implement. I promise you, it does not have to be perfect. And furthermore, there really is no right or wrong way. It's your way because it's your business. So just do it. Done is better than being a thought that's lost in your head. Can I get a thumbs up on that one? Because I really feel like that's important. Thank you. Okay, number 4, have a purpose. Oh, Mary's trying to catch up. We've only done one lesson, so you got time, girl. All right, so have a person. This one is so important, and it ties into what the F are my goals. Is there anybody here that hasn't listened to the audio? It's totally fine if you haven't, but I don't want people to think that I'm dropping the F-bomb through the entire call. Nope. Okay. All right. So if you have a higher purpose in your life, then that's going to pull you towards the future. Okay. It's not going to pull you back into your past. It's not going to let you get sidetracked towards other, shiny objects outside the window, like the stupid lawn people that were outside blowing the lawn when lightning was striking in my front yard. It's going to keep you pulling towards your future. So let me hang on a second. So when you think about what your higher purpose is, what you're working towards, that's going to help pull you through those challenges that you're going to face. And believe me, you're going to have bad days. You might have bad weeks. I hope you don't, but you could have bad months too. When I left AstraZeneca, which was May 31st of this past year, and actually I have to tell y'all, I got a text message from one of my colleagues in my division 15 minutes before this call. Okay. I was so frazzled. And they're doing layoffs tomorrow. My whole division is sitting by the phone tomorrow, waiting to find out if they have jobs. Like, God was watching out for me when he put it on my heart that it was time. But anyways, when I left, I was so excited. I had written out what I wanted my dream day to look like. I mean, like right down to what time I get up, when I'm going to do my PD, this, that, and the other. I've been doing the business for almost 2 years, and I thought, I've got this. And then I woke up and 6 weeks had passed and I'd hardly accomplished anything. All right. People that are close to me knew I was struggling. I wasn't unhappy. I was blissfully happy, but I hadn't really grown my business, and hello, like that's my plan. So, why is this? I'd totally lost sight of my vision. I needed to sit back down and think about what the F my goals were, right? I needed to write all those F's down and rethink about what my goals were. And without my vision, without the direction of those goals as my roadmap, there was just no will for me to follow that beautiful schedule. There was no will for me to get up at 6 a.m. and work out when I don't have to, which I've been doing the last couple of weeks. Thank you. Hello. All right. So friends, you need to have a purpose. You've got to have a vision. You've got to be able to see where you're going. Okay. That's why this first lesson that we did is so important. And that's why it's the first one, because all the stuff that we're going to learn these next several weeks, if you don't really have a vision and you don't really have your roadmap, then you're going to end up in Kansas. So as we saw in the videos, for those of you who have done the trainings, the clearer your vision is, the more dynamic it is, the more exciting it is to you, the more willing you're going to be to get your booty out of bed early in the morning, work your business, do your workouts, and you'll be excited to live outside your comfort zone. And I mean, your comfort zone's not comfortable. I mean, being outside your comfort zone, it's not comfortable. That's why we like to be in the comfort zone. But where does growth happen? Not inside the comfort zone. It happens outside. And so having that vision is so very helpful. So if you haven't, definitely figure out what the F your goals are. Be the curious child. Create the vision that is so compelling that it sets your soul on fire and it pulls you towards what you're working towards. And it'll be so helpful during the tough times, or when you don't feel like talking to Mary Jo or whatever, I mean, we all have our moods. All right. So number 5, and it's kind of ties into number 4, is that you have to dream. Your better future is a dream. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Your better future is a dream. So what does it look like? What unique things do you see when you truly dream? All right. I'm not talking about realistic goals. I'm talking about outlandish, crazy, in your wildest dreams types of dreams. But I'm keeping it clean. So I'm talking about Europe, or owning a cottage in the mountains, retiring your mother, paying for your kids' college with cash, whatever floats your boat. But you name it, it's your dream. And so that ties in with number 4. So just make sure, and I would save this lesson in a note somewhere so that when you start to feel like you're maybe veering off path, you can come back to it. Because I can tell you, I mean, just me revisiting it, it's helped me a lot as well. And I think that my colleagues that are in here with me, it's also really resonated with them. Robin, why are you making that face? Is something wrong?
We were reading the screen.
What?
We were reading the chat.
Oh, I have that turned off. It'll distract me. Wave your
Clear.
hands if I need to see something.
We need to turn it off too.
Okay. I was like, what do I have, something hanging out my nose? Okay. So number 6, resolve to never give up. All right. Nothing can resist the human will. For any of you out there who's lost a family member to cancer, then you can likely attest to the fact that the human will is so strong. Okay. My mother-in-law never stopped fighting. They took her from Oviedo all the way up to Pennsylvania, and she wanted to see her family, and she was still in it to win it. And it wasn't until she heard her sons say the word hospice to the doctors in the hospital that she gave in. And she took her last breath 18 hours later. Her body was so ravaged with leukemia that I, to my core, to the bottom of my toes, believe the only thing that kept her going was her will, her spirit. And so just don't ever discount how strong it is. You just can't ever resolve to give up, because if you have to resolve to never give up. And if you make that, yes, exactly, Mary, it's a strong mindset. I stated that the tip is to resolve to never give up. And Jim Rohn quotes, this is so cute. He did a talk with children, and, he asked the kids, can you define resolve? And, he asked a bunch of kids and got a bunch of crazy answers. And the last kid raised her hand and she said, resolve is like promising yourself you will never give up. Hello? Like, that's perfect. So let me ask you this. How long should a baby try to learn how to walk? A week? 2 weeks? When should the baby give up? Never, right? That's same goes for us. Never stop growing. Never, ever. Keep working at it. Keep working on yourself. Fail forward. Try new things. Learn from others. Discard what's not working. Keep doing what's working. And then keep growing more. But always promise yourself that you resolve to never give up, because your human spirit will take you very far. Number 7, self-reliance. This one's quick. Self-reliance, looking mostly to yourself. So remember how I said earlier that you're the only person that's going to make you successful? You have to rely on you. That means you look it up, you figure it out, you try until you succeed. So self-reliance is learning to count on yourself so that you never have to complain and you never have to explain. I feel like being self-reliant is also going to really embolden you to lead a team, right? So if you do it on your own and you find your way, then you're going to feel so confident and feel so good about leading a team, and there won't be any timidness. And remember, we don't want to be timid. We want to seek adventure. So that was number 7. Number 8 is learn from other people. Now, I just told you to be self-reliant, and now I'm telling you to learn from other people. Can I really say that in the same, one up against each other? But I can. So we can learn from what we see. So paying attention, sitting back, watching, learn from the winners and the losers. And, the famous quote, success leaves clues. And I mean, Beachbody is amazing. Like, we have so many videos out there that we can watch. So that's certainly not hard to figure out what people are doing when they're successful. But you can also do this by being active in this group. And I'm not saying to live in the group, okay? Set aside your time to do your lessons, apply your lessons, share your takeaways. And then if you still have time, by all means, sorry, I hope you didn't hear that. By all means, like, read what other people are getting from the lessons too. And you may find somebody that really speaks your language, and hello, that could be a success partner. You can also learn from others by being a selective listener. And what I mean by a selective listener is, only listen to those that are going to bring value to you, and not like the naysayer, negative Nellies that you don't want in your life. We always want to surround ourselves with people that are going to lift us up, inspire us, encourage us. And then the last thing I'll say regarding learning from others is to read. Or you can do podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks. If you're super busy, then you should never, ever fold another load of laundry without listening to a podcast. Or I don't take showers without having some type of podcast or video playing in the background. Drives my whole family crazy. But I'm like, whatever, I'm in the shower by myself. I want to feed my brain good stuff. And so I do. When I was a pharmaceutical rep, especially when I started, Scotty Hobbs was on YouTube for me all the time because he spoke to my heart. I had little Post-it notes from him all over my car. No doesn't mean no. No means not right now. All kinds of stuff. So use your time wisely. I remember seeing a post of Stephanie Cook once too. She had her earbuds in while she's got like thick hair. It doesn't take long for me to blow dry my hair, but, and she was listening to PD while she was blow drying her hair. I thought, now that is a woman on a mission. And I loved it. So this next one is near and dear to my heart. And this is to say enough is enough. So we're on number 9, and it's to say enough is enough. So I think a good word to help drive home this point is the word disgust. So the definition of disgust is a feeling of revulsion or profound disapproval aroused by something unpleasant or offensive. Because, like if somebody does something and it just disgusts you and you're like, ugh, I'm done with them, right? So have you ever been disgusted with a situation where you've said, I'm done? Yeah, Kim, of course you have. So I don't know if you all have had your life-changing day, but I will tell you right now, I've had mine. One of mine. This was a pivotal moment in my commitment to this business as well as my mindset, and I'm going to share it with you. So don't roll your eyes, okay? Pinky promise. So we had this hamster, and her name was Miss Moneypenny, and we loved her so big. Okay, that's what we say in our house. She had 3 fancy cages that were all put together and all the sunflowers she could ever possibly wish for. You should have seen my husband and Delaney putting those 3 cages together. No, Daddy, you should do it this way. No. And Brooks and I, my son and I, we're the engineers in the family, so to speak. And so it was really like Bonnie and Clyde, Tom and Jerry, you name it. It was ridiculous. We have sweet videos of Miss Moneypenny being Hamsterzilla, where she knocked down buildings and ate trees named Rosie. My daughter was young. We have videos of her carrying dog bones that were as long as she was, as far as 4 feet, up a ramp, into her cage, into the corner where she keeps all of her food. I mean, she was so cute. I just loved her. I even caught Tom one night on the floor watching her and talking to her. So, everything comes to an end. We knew she was dying. We took her to the vet. We gave her medicine. We fed her Pedialyte through a syringe. And I prayed and prayed that she would go in her sleep. Right? I mean, she didn't. So I was getting ready for work one morning, and Delaney came in the bathroom, and she's like, Mom, Miss Moneypenny, I think she's dying. And I didn't believe her. And I went out there, and it was Delaney's habit to open up the top of the cage every morning, pull her out, say goodbye, put her back in. And when she opened it, she was like labored breathing and looked terrible. And I was like, oh my God. So here I am, I'm getting ready to drive 90 minutes south to see my customers who I'm sure they liked me, but I doubt they really cared if I came to see them that day, right? But and I'm sure my boss would have given me the day off, but there's this thing called responsible and, work ethic and business sense and values. And I knew that for my business that I was responsible for at that time and was paid very good money to do, I needed to go to Sebring that day. So I called our nanny, crying hysterically. Oh, I got to show you all this picture. Hang on. This is part of it. Screen share. Desktop. This is what I left that day. Look at my daughter's face. It was awful. I had to call our nanny, crying hysterically, and she came and took care of it. She sat with Delaney and Miss Moneypenny while she took her last breath. She took her to Chick-fil-A to cheer her up. She helped her clean the hamster cage. She took her to a pet store to see other hamsters. On top of that, I was so late getting home that night. And I know she's a hamster, but I missed the burial because it was going to pour down rain. We live in Florida. And Tom's like, honey, it's going in the ground. And I was like, fine, do it without me. It was awful. And that was the day that I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not calling a nanny. I'm going to be the mom. I'm going to be the one that is there with her. And until that point, I knew I had always said that I was going to leave my job to be a coach, but that day there was no turning back for me. And that was my enough is enough moment. So thanks, Kim. Oh, I know you're an animal lover too. She cried when Miss Moneypenny died. And Breezy. I'm the crazy hamster lady. So, when you've had enough and, just that's a great part of, that's one of his great things for, what's the word I'm looking for? Tips for success is, know when to say enough is enough. And then the last one is to think rich. I am such a firm believer in this one. Okay. The poor pessimist leads an ugly, ugly life. He goes through life not looking for what's right, but looking for what is wrong. He doesn't look for virtue in others. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he is delighted. Who wants to live like that? And who wants to be around somebody like that? I don't. And I certainly don't want to be somebody like that either. But unfortunately, a lot of people were raised in an environment to think like that. And the good news is that it can be changed. Our lives are mostly affected by the way that we think things are and not the way that they are. We all know that of the most popular analogy of a pessimist is the glass half full or is the glass half empty. And I think it's a great way to drive home the point. It's all in the way you look at it. It's going to have the same measurement. If you took a cup and you divided it in half, it's either half full or half empty, and it depends on how you look at it. The other morning, my 12-year-old was so mad because his sister had said, did you really create that world in Minecraft? And she really pushed him to fess up. I mean, she put the screws in, and she didn't believe him. And he was so insulted. And I was like, Brooksy, you're looking at this all wrong. It's a huge compliment that she doesn't believe that you made it because it's such an amazing world. And he got this big smile on his face and he bounced out of the room. And that just goes, that's just a good example. It's a simple example, but it's a good example to show that it's really a lot of times the way you look at it. Your mind is like a factory. And what you think all day long pours into your brain factory all of the ingredients that you're making it into. So for those of you who are more spiritually minded, there's even a Bible verse, Proverbs 4:23, that says, as you think, so you become. So I think that's awesome because we have the power to influence who we become. even at the age of 43, at the age of 38, 54, 21, whatever, we totally are the captains of our ship or the foreman of the factory floor of our brain. So fill it with good stuff. You know, if you're a negative Nelly, then find some books to read to help change that. When I Googled that, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I've never had to read a book like this because I'm positive Pollyanna. Power of Positive Thinking, or talk to a friend and see if they have any suggestions. And then I'll just share one little secret. And that would be to set aside, and we all have, the happiness advantage Stephanie is recommending. We all struggle with finding time for spiritual development and personal development. And I would just suggest setting aside 5 to 10 minutes every day, first thing in the morning, just to sink your mind into something that's more positive. I started doing a 5-minute journal that we got at the Ignite Nashville at Summit. It's super simple, and I think it's what I needed so that I could get into that habit. And then after my workout every morning, I read daily affirmations out loud to myself. And I have found that it really, truly helps me set the tone as well as the direction for my day. So those are the 10 tips for success from Jim Rohn. And I chose that because I didn't want to just go over videos that you guys have already watched and done. And I hope that you got something out of this. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions, answers, comments. If you guys have anything.
Thank you, Tracy. That was awesome.
Thanks, Robin. All right, Mary.
Thanks for inviting me. I don't know why my face isn't showing on my iPad tonight. I do want to say that in terms of, when we were talking about, like your attitude with the glass half full, glass half empty. This morning when I was at work, I had done my workout. I did our little lab challenge, whatever. I had my psychology, and I helped somebody that just bought a challenge pack to figure out how to get into Beachbody on demand. So I felt good, and I actually had like 3 engineers stop me in the hallway and wanted to know why I looked so happy at work. And I was like, well, and I told them, and they're like, well, they actually like tried to like Debbie Down me, but I just was like, why should I be in a bad mood when I'm here? Why can't I stay in a good mood?
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, it's funny how many people would rather that you have the negative attitude than a positive one.
I know. I don't get that. Misery loves company, I guess.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some of you have, who's talking? Nobody. Some of you guys have talked about feeling challenged with time, crunched for time. You're welcome, Brian. And I was going to say that we saw, some of us saw a speaker at Ignite Nashville. What was her name? Laura Wagner, whatever. But what is it?
Rainer.
Oh, Rainer. Oh, I was way off. Suggestions for a power hour. Okay. So that's from Kelly. Let me write this down. Because we could maybe do some live videos interspersed here and there. Would you guys like that? I mean, I guess y'all don't really need to be on there, but it's more fun to have people ask questions, suggestions for a power hour, time, not so much time management, but how to fit it all in.
I wouldn't mind.
Okay. So that's all I have for you tonight. There's really no real call to action outside of, or Morgan Rager. Thanks. Thank you. Outside of making sure that for this week's past lesson that we had of with the what the F are your goals, and really dig deep on those, and from the examples that I talked about tonight, you can really see just how powerful that roadmap that you can build, as well as your vision, and how that'll keep you moving forward during times that are difficult. And then also, one thing that we talked about as well is, not being collectors of information, but making sure that you take everything that you're learning and implement it, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because sitting on it isn't going to make it any easier. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times when you do it, the universe gives you something back that shows you that you did the right thing, and it makes you believe even more in the principles that you're following. So I'll close out the call here unless any of our other leaders have anything to say.
Just one other thing that we learned at Summit too was don't try to implement everything, right away. Prioritize, because you're overwhelmed by all the information.
Good advice. Yes, you're not always going to gel with everything that you learn. So use what you like. Okay, so we don't have any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And I look forward to reading more comments, and you guys are going to get another assignment within the next couple days, and we will have another Zoom call in 2 weeks, but possibly some live videos between now and then. Sound good? Okay, I'm going to close this.
Bye-bye.
Bye.